Well, hello there, long time no talk. It's Moto XO. I just thought I'd do a quick and dirty little, review with the old iPhone here on this little bitty motorbike, also known as the Royal Enfield Himalayan adventure bike I bought a while back. Now, I could have done a full production video on this because I haven't done anything for you guys in a long time, but I thought, I don't have the camera gear anymore. I've moved. I've changed states even, so this is going to be just a quick and dirty, okay? I figured, gotta have my thoughts on this since I have some experience and stuff, and I thought it might help some people. The adventure market's kind of like a big deal right now, and there's a lot of bikes coming out, like the KTM 390, the Himalayan, of course, the Versys and a bunch of other little bikes. I would say this bike is more for an entry-level rider, someone who is just starting out. I bought this as an adventure bike because I had my KTM, if you recall from my other videos, and that was a great bike, but it wasn't much of a freeway motorcycle. Well, to be honest, this isn't either. The truth about this bike is it has great suspension travel for what it is. It's affordable. It's cobbled together pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of weird fit and finish issues, like some of the plastics will bow out and, some of the hardware will start to get light surface rust. A lot of the finishes scratch off really easy. There's a lot of rattling and stuff that happens in the cluster area and this whole crash bar area here. But everything is usable and is functional. It's fuel injected. It weighs around 400 pounds. This one has no ABS, it's a 2018. Has a 4-gallon capacity, which is great for adventure riding. Crash bars, accessories can be bolted to luggage racks very easily. I put a little red rooster muffler on this thing, which helped it a little bit breathing wise, but it's just absolutely gutless. And I have to say, from an experienced rider's standpoint, this is its biggest shortcoming. I really love the look of this bike. It was actually designed by the same fellow who did a bunch of Ducati designs. He cobbled together a really cool looking retro agricultural bike. But this little fucking 400cc, it's noisy. It makes a lot of box rocks noise, like low end rattling and high end rattling. It's just not pleasant to listen to. It doesn't really have much of an exhaust note, even though it's a pretty straightforward exhaust system on this bike. It's a long stroke 400cc, so, you can't really ask the world of it, but it only puts out 25 horse and about the same figures in torque. So it really is gutless. And that is really the reason I'm considering selling it. For an advanced rider, it's really gonna disappoint you when you're trying to merge or you're trying to, go through the turns and have some spirited riding in the mountains, on the twisties. That is an area that it really comes in short. And the rest of the bike, it will do what you ask of it, but that's about it. If you push it and you try to make it perform like, let's say something like a KTM 390, you're gonna really notice the shortcomings then. You'll start to feel the suspension, kind of wallow out if you're pushing it really hard in the turns and you're scraping pegs. Again, this is all like advanced rider stuff, right? If you're new, it's fine. It's a great bike. It's smooth. There's no vibrations until you hit around 6,000 RPM or 5,500 RPM. It starts to kind of really vibrate. Everything shakes. The whole front just rattles, makes a bunch of noise. But, up to that point, it's super smooth. And the brakes are barely adequate. They're not great, like a lot of people say, but the overall package that you get for like $4,700 on these, it's great, especially if you're just starting out. You can't really go wrong. I tossed an LED light on this one. It was like $60 on Amazon. I threw some $20 bark busters on the bike, and it came with the skid pads and the crash bars. The muffler was 195 bucks. All replacement parts for this are dirt cheap. It is air and oil cooled, so it's all there. It just doesn't perform the way you would want it to if you are more of an aggressive rider or a spirited rider. One thing I will say from a safety standpoint, it does cruise down the highway fine, but you're a sitting duck. You've got absolutely no power at all, no roll on. You cannot get out of anyone's way. You cannot merge or move over quickly to like avoid a situation. And the braking distance on this bike is actually quite bad. Like if you look up the figures, it's like double of any other motorcycle. So that's something to keep in mind. I think if you're good at modulating, you know, bikes that have performance of a wooden brick, any kind of brick, then you would be okay with this. But overall, it really just needs a bigger engine and a little bit better brakes. And I think it could carry a lot more people in the advanced riding market further. Meaning you could own this as an advanced rider and be pleased with it. I think in its current state, like the power to weight ratio, it's just not there. And I thought I could get by with, you know, less power because I thought, well, it's got so many features. You know, it's got the dirt bike pegs already included, the crash bars already included. It's pretty light, you know, it'll do great off-road, and it does do great off-road. You know, you don't really need lots of speed to do trails unless you're on like a big KTM, but it really does disappoint you when you're riding to the coffee shop, riding on the freeway to the destination. That's when it gets really frustrating. And so overall, I really like the bike, and I actually don't really want to sell it. I love the look of it. I love the simplicity of the engine. I mean, you can just take this whole side case cover off and get to the magneto or the, you know, stator, and all the parts inside are very easy to service. You know, they all have fit and finish issues. You know, these caps fall out on all of them. They all seep oil right here at the head bolts. There's various, it's barely there, but I mean, there's various tips and tricks you can do to repair that. You know, this bike's got 6,000 miles on it. It's brand new, you know, and I didn't put the majority of those miles on it either. But just a little overview of this motorcycle for those of you who are considering getting these in the States. There were issues with like frame cracks and fatigue right here at the neck. So you do want to check on your bike, make sure there's no, you know, cracking and stuff right there. This was all resolved supposedly in the BS4 version, which is what this is, which was the international version from 2018 on. Other than that, man, if you want an early, easy, simple, new bike friendly, new rider friendly, you know, adventure bike, give it a try. I don't think it'll disappoint you. I think most people will grow out of this really fast though. And the build quality, it's really noticeable that it's just not fantastic. I don't mind it, but you know, when you look down at your gas cap and it's crooked and you notice all these weird little things where stuff's kind of off center, you know, this is Royal Enfield, and this is the way they build bikes. I'm sure over time, you know, things will get tighter tolerance, but until then, you know, this is actually not a bad bike. But those of you who've been riding for a couple years, I'd say skip it, and to be honest, maybe go for the KTM 390 like I'm considering. I think you'd be happier with the horsepower delivery and all that jazz on that bike. Anyway, short video, just thought I'd say, hey, what's up guys, and show you the information on this bike that I bought. I thought it would be a missed opportunity if I didn't go over this before selling it. You know, it is an interesting motorcycle, I will say that. Sorry about the lack of lighting, I'm in the garage. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. And if I get another headgear set, I'll definitely start posting some more vids of stuff I've bought. Anyway, take care guys. See you next time.